Delighted and excited you could be here. It is that massive moment in time, massive money making, marketing magic, delivering amazing, awesome, incredible. And now say yeah. Hey Garrett, I think we're gonna have to create a theme song.
I was
You
just
know,
thinking that. I
like
was just
ha,
thinking that. I was
right?
just thinking
Kind
that.
of a crossover between an industrial kind of sports groove and a rap, a light rap. I should say a white rap. It's just all I got.
with
That's all
with
I got. I
well,
do. I could, I could do. Let me tell you about a man named Jed. Definitely, that's about as good as it gets for me. Sorry. So, all right. Delighted and excited. Well, we'll have to edit that out. Delighted and excited to be here. We're going to cut straight to the chase. And, we talked about Millie Diop, which is the make it look like you did it on purpose, which is all we're ever talking about, is this and do well and fast and often. It really is that simple. Just simply help people get what they want, need, desire, and ultimately deserve. We're talking about the free to fee six-figure speaker success blueprint 101 and the introduction. And what we're going to do is kind of give you an extended look at what we're doing and how we're doing it, so you can actually get. How many of you guys took a moment and watched the breakdown replays that we did? One, yeah, they're very short. The longest one is 11 minutes, but it more succinctly than last week breaks down the process and makes it very, 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 very simple. And the good news is it's super actionable because there's nothing to it. you just kind of do it. Let me go grab a new share here, and I'm going to give you some additional bonus content here, and we may be having a little bit of slowdown. Can everybody see the screen? Six figure. Oh, beautiful. I love it when that happens. Yeah, baby.
Sorry about that.
And right, I will put us here at the bottom. And I'm not going to go over it here, but we talked about the P3 process, which is the promote your event. That is, get your hands raised, get people to say, hey, I'm thinking about. If you know anybody, blah, blah, blah. Very simple. I'm thinking about revealing. Those that raise your hand, you pitch them on a booking. I'm going to gift you, the one-page sheet. We're going to look at that again today. And then you simply produce and present your event, and then you simply call to action. You invite them to take the next step with you, whether that's a free or a fee freemium or a premium or a product or service or a solution. And for those of you who don't, for whatever reason, don't have a solution in hand, in other words, you don't have a product, or you need to extend your product range, I'm going to give you a gift today. And again, this is a completely separate bonus training, but I want you to understand everything you'll need, you'll have in this training. So this is, I'm not going to spend another 12 weeks going down this particular rabbit hole, but we're just going to unpack it very quickly for you. And as quickly as the technology will allow us to do that, that is. So it seems to be going, I'm not going to open right now because I don't feel like it. So let's see if we can, yeah, it's there. Oh, great. The blue swirly thing of death. I love it when that happens. So in any event, it's a super simple process that we'll be able to unpack for you here. And here's the good news. It is no more complicated than doing what you're already doing. So assuming that you make some posts or reach out to some people and invite them to identify themselves as potential candidates for more information, then all you have to do is, let's see if it'll work now. Nope. Okay. That's right. Oh, there it is. Okay. So Anyway, so then you invite them to have a quick casual conversation, in which you tell them you'll send them a one-page letter and a little bit of information about what it is you do, and if they'd like to potentially book you to come speak, preach, teach, nag, help them with their group or organization. Very, very simple. And then when they say yes, or maybe not now, or they might say, who knows? Like, who do you know? Hey, it may not, hey, we're booked up for the rest of the year. No problem. Who do you know? I'm looking to serve, five nonprofit groups, or 5 social civic clubs, or 5 faith-based groups or organizations. I'm looking to serve a couple of groups in the area. Who do you know that would be in a good position to take advantage of this? And they say, oh, yeah, my buddy at the different Rotary, at the different Kiwanis group, or my church would be interested in having it. Our Rotary is booked up for the next year, but whatever, so very simple. And able to succeed, the QuickStart, KickStart, Next KISS product creation Genesis program is very simple. ABL stands for Alpha Beta Launch. This is probably the second most lifted principle in the internet marketing space today. The idea, some people call it a pilot program. I've been doing these online and offline for probably 40 years, give or take. And this able to succeed Alpha Beta Launch is nothing more than offering an opportunity for people to invite you at an introductory level. You've never done anything like this before, but you know what you're talking about. And you're willing to show up and throw up and give them the best value you can. You're with complete, brutal bluntness. When I say bluntness, I mean that's the language you speak. That is honest, relevant content. So you just get out there and do it. And when you offer to do it, let me unpack this for you. You simply go out and you do. Again, assuming that you promote and that you pitch, you invite people to book you, and then you produce, which in other words, you actually get to do an event. You show up, you do your live presentation, whether it's 5 minutes or 15 minutes or 55 minutes or whatever it happens to be. At that time, you simply record that. Now, this is online and offline. Please understand and hear me correctly. This is not just an online strategy. It is not just an offline strategy. As a matter of fact, the good news is it works even better online because all of the good reasons. You already have a recording vehicle. You don't have to worry about having somebody or putting it up, setting up a tripod or any of that stuff. It's already here. If you're on Zoom, you just hit record. That's all there is to it. Very simple. Our third core covenant commitment in all of our training groups or organizations is this. If you breathe, record it. Because here's the good news. If you don't want it anymore, you simply toss it. It is digital dust in the wind. If for whatever reason you say something that you thought, oh, that was worthy of a 30-second micro post on social media, I can extract, surgically remove that 30 seconds and place it up on social media or whatever. Somebody else says something or whatever it happens to be. So the worst case scenario, again, like I said, is you just simply toss it away. So you record it. And then you invite people to join you in this process, right? Online or offline. So let's say that you just, you're thinking about doing okay, Nicola, let's say you're going to teach a class on how to take people from illiterate to independent in 4 to 6 weeks, or from can't read to reading rock star in 4 weeks, or whatever it is. And let's say you've never done this class, or you have done a couple of them, so you invite a couple of people that, or I'm thinking about revealing how to turn people into this to this and whatever. And I'm thinking about doing a introductory or an alpha version of the program. And here's what you do. You invite them to show up, and with all brutal bluntness, you're going to speak fluent bluntness. You're going to just be honest with them. You're going to say, listen, I'm thinking about doing it. Let's have a quick casual conversation. Then you have a conversation with them. You ask them, well, what would they want to get out of it, and what's this mean to them, and here's what I'm thinking about doing if I were to do something like that. What would you want to know that I haven't already discussed, and does that sound like something you'd be interested in, right? And say, if I should decide to do something like this, would you be interested in coming along for the ride? And here's what I mean by that. I'm going to do a program now. This is something that I'm planning on doing and creating potentially a course or a program or a product or a service or solution around. And eventually, if this turns into a product or a service or solution, then I want to give it an alpha effort. In other words, I just want to give it a try. See, so here's what it'll be. In all truth and honesty, we're going to just show up. I'm going to throw up. We're going to experiment. No promises that it's going to be everything, but here's what I promise, what I can promise, and that is this. I will give you everything I got on the subject. I will over-deliver. It may not be perfect or elegant or eloquent, but it will be everything you need to know in order. And because it's going to be this small alpha group environment, I'm going to come alongside you. I'm going to partner with you. I'm going to help you achieve the results that we promise in our program, right? So your children, or you will, or whatever, your class, your students, whatever it happens to be, you will get these deliverables, these outcomes in our time together. And now here's the good news. If I decide that it's good enough and it turns into a program, product, service, solution, I will gift you, as part of your commitment in this process, I will gift you the full, complete, if it should turn into a program, then I will give you a copy of the entire product. But you'll get copies of the recordings. We're going to do this thing. There's going to be a 4, 6, 8, 10, whatever session program. And again, I'm going to give you everything, probably more than you will ever need or want or to consume, because I don't have a logo for the program yet. I don't have an outline for the program. I know what I want to teach. I know that I can create value. I know that you just have to know you can deliver the bottom line in some way, shape, or form. So this is totally non-threatening because you're being brutally honest up front, right? And then, because you're creating this course together, this program, this product, this service solution together, you are also doing it in a collaborative course creation or product building way. Because here's the thing, and it's also true here. There are things about this variation. We've been teaching this for a while, but school is always in for the lifetime learner. And the one thing I know is that there are things that you're thinking about that you want or need to learn or unpack that in a million years I would have never thought was important or of value to you. Did you say, wait, can you just back up and go a little bit more in depth on that thing or this thing or that thing? Or you say, or I think something's incredibly important and you go, yeah, got it. But can we talk about this, right? So this collaborative course, now you no longer, when you get to the beta version, you no longer have to guess as to what your core constituency, your audience, the people who know, like, and trust you, the people who want what it is they raise their hand to learn how to read, to learn how to follow a RAD method, to learn how to make money in composing in the music arts industry, to be a super sponsor, to whatever. You know, they already want what you have, and you've agreed, you've made a consensus that these are the things I want to learn, plus here's the things I told you I want to learn. At the end, and you say, if we could make that happen, would that be something you'd like to partner with me on? Would you like to help me help you create this program, product, service, solution? And they either say yes or no. It's no pressure. Great, right? And here's part of the commitment that you're going to invest. Listen, this is if I can demonstrate clearly that a program like this will help you achieve this result, and it equals to what would that be worth to you? And they tell you this number that, of course, you know, hey, oh my gosh, if I could read in 4 weeks, then I'd pay anything, you know, or I'd give up the world, or I'd whatever, And then the good news is, then you say, well, let me ask you a question. If we were to unpack this, show you the processes that I teach everybody and get these results. Here's some of the results we've achieved perhaps in a bit before, or some that we know we can achieve, or whatever it happens to be. Not so much what's it worth to you, but if we were to do an alpha version of this program, what would you be willing to put up as skin in the game? Now, here's the interesting thing. Inevitably, what you think people are willing to pay will surprise the crap out of you. And I say that with all reverence and respect, knowing full well that I experienced this, and then I pass this experience on to other people. And then, can I put you on the spot, Claude? Oh, your microphone's off. Yeah.
I'm bashful, but I'll give it a go. Sure.
Okay. So I basically said, I asked him what I thought he would charge for his alpha version, his program, right? And I thought it was a little low. And I said, okay, do me a favor. Are you willing to play? And he said he was. I said, when you have these conversations with people, right, I want you to ask them these two questions. One, what would that be worth to you based on your conversation? You feed back to them what they said they wanted, what you said you would deliver. If I could get you all of those things, what would that be worth to you? That's question number one. And then question number two is the real deal question. What would you be willing to pay in order to make that happen, if we could make that happen in the next 4, 6, 8, 10, 12 sessions or whatever together? And that's where you're going to get the, oh my gosh, it's worth $3,000, but I really only have, less than 2,000, or I really only have $2, or I really have whatever, because that's the thing. It's not what they think it's worth, it's what they're willing to commit, skin in the game right here, right now. And here's the difference. So, Claude, what happened when you posed that question, that set of questions to the people? What happened to the price, and what happened to you?
Well, I had a number in mind, what I thought it was worth, especially because I had never taught this before. So I just reached out to some of my entertainer friends and saying, I'm thinking about revealing how I go about getting sponsors and how I partner with nonprofit groups. Because I never taught this before. I'm not very camera friendly, wanted to put together a little alpha group. And I want to use you basically as a guinea pig. I want to show you what I know and see if you can get results. It won't be pretty, it won't be any pretty slides and like that. And if I could show you how to go and get sponsors quickly and easily, what would that be worth to you? So the numbers they were saying to me, I met with 12 people, and every single one of the 12 picked a number at least 2 to 3 times higher than what I had in mind. And I asked them, what would you be like? What do you think it's worth? And then I asked them, what would they be prepared to pay for it? And their number was at least double, all 12 of them. So we went with a bigger number. 10 out of the 12 ended up joining our program. And I think every single one of them got massive results. So it's pretty awesome.
Right. And here's the thing. Especially in the Western world culture, and I don't mean just on the Western hemisphere, but I mean in the first world kind of economy, people vote and value through their wallets. And by that I mean, if I told you I could get you a brand new Rolls Royce for $500, the first thing you would say is, that's probably an expensive toy, like this big, or what's wrong with it? Right? And that would be a justifiable response. Here's the thing. There is value ascribed from the experience they will derive as a direct result of what they think it's worth versus what they're actually paying for it. So the fact of the matter is that people will show up, they will participate, and to me, The skin in the game commitment, the capital investment, is so much smaller than the rest of the T4. There's time, there's talent, there's treasure, there's trust. And when I'm speaking blunt and ease, I'm saying here's the deal. I'm going to do this for a lot less than anybody would ever have to pay. I'm showing you how you're going to get your ROI, your return on investment potentially, and all that stuff. But here's the thing. I'm not just looking for a couple of bucks. I'm looking for a skin in the game commitment. And by the way, this is language you guys can use. I'm looking for a skin in the game commitment. So you're as committed to our time together and your success as I am. Because I am 100,000,000% committed to you and your success. And I can't be more committed than you are. So I need you to ante up a T4 investment. And what I mean by T4 is your time. I need to, when you show up, I want you to show up fully on time and early. Time, talent. I want you to bring every ounce of your effort, energy, and being and skill and resources to bring to bear to our time together. Time, talent, treasure. I need a skin in the game commitment, a capital investment, so that you will actually show up. Because here's the thing, people don't invest into what they're not invested into. It just is it's a first world Western kind of mindset culture, right? Not to say that the East doesn't do it, but you know what I'm saying. So, and time, talent, treasure, and trust. And I need you for the sake of our time together, I need you to trust that you're coming to this experience for a reason, that there's something that we have to bring to bear and to share that is different than what you're doing, or you wouldn't need our help. You wouldn't be interested in coming to our program. So I need you to invest your time, your talent, your treasure, and your trust, and leave your doubts at the door and leave all that stuff. So you're asking for an absolute commitment. Yes, it's going to be a less capital investment. Instead of $5,000, $10,000, $15,000, it might be $500. It might be $1,500. It might be whatever less than you might charge if you had it perfected and ready to launch. Does that make sense to everybody? So come on, man. Get on. Party on down. So anyhow, so anyway, so you have to charge them, because I guarantee you, over the years, I have invested many, many hundreds of thousands of dollars into people who said, if you just help me now, I will show up. And 99.9% of the time, those people just simply don't show up. They don't show up emotionally, spiritually, relationally, intellectually, financially. They just are not present, and they don't get the results because there's no skin in the game, right? Their T4 investments are not present. So that's important. I'm not saying that because I don't want you to go out and give it away. That's part of it, because in order to do good, you have to do well. You have to make money. But that is together that you need to somewhat equal. Now, because it's your content, you're going to be a little more committed than everybody else. You're going to want their success more than they will oftentimes. It's just the nature of the thing. You have no idea how desperately we long for you and your success in this process. Right? We absolutely long for you to have phenomenal success. And that's why we try to break it down in bite-sized chunks and make it easy. Just post this formula, go out and do it, because we know that the water is fine. So just come on in, just jump in and make the magic happen. So you will be more committed in most cases than they will, almost always. That said, you need them to show up at the highest level possible, so that then you can get this collaborative course building effort, and you have proof. Because when people get success, part of the commitment is that if you got some results from our time together, part of your tuition investment, part of your T4 investment is that we're going to ask you for a testimonial. We need you to tell the truth, but assuming you've got results, we're going to ask you and we're going to want to use your case study and your testimonial as we move through into the beta version, which is, now this show up and throw up may or may not have a logo, may not even have an official name, might have just a working title. But as long as you're being brutally honest, now forgive me, I'm talking very fast because I'm trying to cram a lot in. One, and two, I'm very excited about this process, because this is all every time, this is the way I've done my business and generated a 6 and 7 figure income as a direct result of this strategy right here. And you'll notice some of these things are even present in what we're doing today. And this is by a long shot, not an alpha version of what we're doing. But I'm always checking in. I'm always asking, what do you know? What are we missing that you need to know that we haven't covered yet? What are, and we're making tweaks and changes. We went from confusing to very simple in the PayPal process. And we went, it's an ever evolving process. So keep that ever fresh. And then the other thing is, especially in your alpha and beta versions, you can invite people as an enticement to say, hey, listen, should we ever launch this into a real product, we're going to give you founding member access, which basically means you're going to get a copy of the finished version when it's done at no additional cost. Where other people are going to pay 3, 4, 5, maybe even 6 zeros, you're going to get it for however many zeros you invested in our time, talent, treasure, and trust together. So, by trusting in me, we're going to extend to you. And then here's the other thing. And one of the better things, you now have a group of satisfied result-gotten members who've gotten real results. You've gotten testimonials and case studies, and now you can empower them not only to get their money back, but actually make money by joint venturing or co-promoting or doing a FET or leverage or creating synergistic alliances. And by that I mean it's like, hey, if you liked what you saw, who do you think would want to go through a variation, a cleaned up version of what we taught you how to do? You say, oh my gosh, there's 7 people I know, and guess what? You can get anywhere from additional access and bonuses and downloads to actual profit sharing. And profit sharing it's up to you, but it's anywhere in the market now. It's anywhere from give or take 10% of the gross new tuition to a full 50%, right? So let's say we sell this program for $12,000 a year. How many people here would be interested in making a few recommendations, assuming you liked what you got from our time together, would be willing to make a recommendation for $3,000 to $6,000 to invite people to join us in a program that you already know, like, trust, and believe in? Would you be willing to accept let's say $3,000 to $6,000 in commission income just by simply referring? You don't have to do any sales. You don't have to stock anything. You don't have to teach anything. You just simply refer people. Would you be interested in doing something like that? And inevitably, the question is, some will, some won't. So what? Someone's waiting next, right? So for those who are happy and satisfied and found some value from it, Nicola, how did you end up here?
A friend recommended me Teresa Brick. Exactly how he said it.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Teresa is a super satisfied member. She's gotten results. She gets amazing results simply by doing actually a scaled back version. She doesn't even do all the steps, right? She does what she does, and she makes a ton of money by serving moms, mostly single moms, helping their kids get a free tuition to college.
Yeah.
Well, that's a pretty irresistible deal. But that being said, she, so I have no problem. And then, she's a massive advocate. And so almost everybody who's here, Marnie, you're here because of our relationship with Ken, right?
Yeah.
And anyway, so Mel has been following us around for forever. And that's just this little group right here, right? So, so there was really no sales. You just said, where do I sign up? Because I didn't have to convince you, because you saw firsthand what the results were from her. And she gets taken care of as a direct result of that relationship. Now, she hadn't bugged me. I said, where do I send the money? I've given her a ton of extra coaching time and a bunch of other stuff, and I love her to death. Not that I wouldn't do that anyway, but so that's it. It's very simple. It's not exhaustive, but basically you get up, you do something, You record it, you show up and throw up, be totally honest, and you experiment and play. You don't make any bold promises about the thing. Say, this is a grand experiment. I have no idea what's going to happen, but here's my promise. I will give you everything I got. I will do my very level best. I will, it's the most hard work you'll ever do. But here's the good news. You get paid to develop your profit producing program, as opposed to paying and taking a shot in the dark, trying to throw darts into a void and hoping it'll land on the target, let alone near the bullseye, right? Because of this process. Does this sound, again, taking longer to explain than it does to actually do? Is this fairly understandable? Yeah. So
I'd like to add a few points to that if I can.
yeah, please.
A couple things. First of all, like I've done a couple of these alpha groups now, and what was interesting is it worked out just the way that's here, that these people that were parts of my alpha group have become not only extremely good friends with me, but they're all super good friends with each other, and they're still doing cross promotions with each other within that alpha group. Some of the alpha groups we did 2-3 years ago, those members are still doing really cool things with each other, which is awesome. And these people didn't even know each other before the alpha group. That's awesome, because it all relates back to what we're doing, right? Back to me. Two, that I probably got 25 like killer testimonials in different niches of people that I've helped, where some of the people in my beta group went out and got $20,000-$30,000 in sponsors in a month results after taking my little beta program. So their endorsements were worth like millions of dollars to me, because if I show this endorsements to anybody else, they hear these recordings, they're like, oh my God, because people spoke highly of the results they got. And many of my people are now going on to becoming an affiliate, where people are asking them, how'd you get all the sponsors? And they're like, well, Claude Haggerty and Dean showed me, here's the link. And then the people are asking them, how'd you pull this off? Well, these guys helped me. So like, this is super simple. And I was actually surprised the results that I got. I learned as much as the people I was teaching learned. So It was invaluable.
Yep. So it's just a super simple, just do it sort of strategy. And one of the things, for instance, that I don't know if you want to call that up, put that up on your screen, but one of the things he got by way of thank you is these cars pay for sponsorships. And one of the drivers he helped got literally surprised him by putting his brick and mortar sandwich and sub shop and his Super Sponsor Man logo as a sponsor onto their race car as a gift, right?
Yeah, I was surprised. I got that yesterday.
Yeah. So we'll post that for you so you can see what that looks like. But that's valuable space that they could have otherwise sold someplace else, right? That's thousands of dollars worth of value that they just gifted him without even asking him or telling him. They just said that was another way for them to say thank you. How cool is that?
And by the way, that driver was in one of my alpha programs.
Right. Yeah, exactly. So that's it. So and then again, beta is nothing more than just do it again and make it better, build on it. This is where some of the forms, like our original system didn't have a script form and formula, didn't have the original YOU in it, didn't have some of these other because I never thought, we just assumed, hey, let's just go have a casual conversation with people and they will either say yes or they'll say no. Well, everybody was asking, well, what specifically, what words do you use? What's the formula? Well, let's say YOU, And we never thought about that until we got that collaboration feedback. And so we created seven-step script form and formula. And then we simply told them, what did we tell them after we taught them that 7-step script form and formula, Clyde?
They're saying, you're bugging us to death for this formula. So here it is. And once you read it, forget it even existed. Just go talk to people.
But what it did is it gave people the ability, like the YOU, the ability to start someplace now. Now they know. Now they don't have to guess. It's share your why, elicit their why. Easy peasy, fresh and breezy. The reason I'm here is because I can't stand it that people are homeless and hungry, and I got to do something together. Let me ask you a question. Why would something like this be of value and important to you? And they're going to say, I hate it too. I hate it when people are hungry. Whatever. Well, I think together we can make some magic happen in the community. What do you say? Boom. Right? And people are hungry now. Sooner rather than later, let's make it happen. YOU. Right? Super simple. So in the alpha or the alpha 2 is just you make some updates, improvements. You clean it up. This version might have an actual formal name. You might go out to Fiverr and create a logo. You might make sure that you have your forms and templates and tools for a beta version. This is not even your launch version. This is just what's next. You build on it, and then you make some improvements, and then you have a launch version. You have all your testimonials up front and all your marketing up front. You have all your examples and samples. You say we teach you how to do this, and then you show a testimonial from somebody who did what you taught them to do and got the results. So you are like 99.999999% ahead of everybody else who's trying to launch their product for the first time, doing, again, darts in the dark, trying to hit the wall, let alone the target, wondering if what they have to offer is of value. You've already figured that out because you've invested with people, you've asked them what they want, you've collaborated, you've gotten proof and testimonials, you've created raving fans, and they're actually going out there and helping to co-promote your beta and launch versions. It really is that simple, right? Then the launch is nothing more than just do it again. Right? Clean it up. And the thing is, now you have all your recordings, you have your course version, which is the do-it-yourself version. Hey, for $2,000, for $19.97, you get access to all the videos. For $3,000, you get access to the videos, and you get some additional bonus templates and tools and resources and gifts and downloads, and you get a weekly call with us. And 1 week is Q&A, 1 week is training, 1 week is expert interview, and 1 week is hot seats or whatever. On and on and on and on. Very, very, very simple. And then, hey, if you want to stick around with us for a year, it's $10,000 for the year or $12,000 for the year. Easy peasy, fresh and breezy. So whatever number it is, again, forgive me, I'm not suggesting you charge whatever you think is appropriate, but it's really that simple. So,
too, like to add too that when you do the beta version,
yeah,
for us, we put the price up a lot.
Oh my gosh, yes.
And it sold out easily because we had the case studies from the alpha group. We're like, here's 10 people or 12 people we helped. This is in their own words the result that they got. And if you want to join the next version, this is how much it is. And it was way more than the first one. And it was easy because you had those case studies to leverage.
Yeah.
And we had experience. We also had all the questions that come out of the first group, the case studies. And we got, like Dean said, we also got better at teaching it. You realize, okay, I could improve on this, or you tweaked it a little bit. And that beta group produced even more results, even more case studies, even more proof for next time, right?
Yep. Question, thoughts, ideas, epiphanies, inspirations on this, and then I want to do one more little thing for you, and then I'm going to gift you your letters and your $200,000 piece of paper.
Oh.
So, questions about that process? Is this sounds relatively simple? It's not that overcomplicated, right? No. It's a pretty easy idea. Just do it, record it, invite some people to join you. Make a mess and clean it up. Literally, make a mess and clean it up. But be brutally honest the whole time. You speak, again, speak Brutanese. Just brutal, truth-telling, honesty about what you're doing. And again, you can go back and listen to the language. You can go back and replay and get you, all that stuff. So very, very, very simple. The thing is, at this point, this whole beta or alpha beta version, the alpha version, is designed to be messy on purpose, designed to be imperfect on purpose, because you're being honest. You're saying, I have no idea what this whole rad method is going to shake out to be until we actually do it together. I have no idea what this news system is going to mean until we just do it. But I promise I will give you everything I got from soup to nuts, A to Z, everything you need. And I'm as committed or more committed than you are to your success using this methodology. I have no idea what it looks like sitting here today, but in 3 months or in 3 weeks or in 3 years or whatever, I will unpack, I will unload. Now here's the thing. What's interesting is the beta and launch versions have like exponentially less stuff packed into it, right? Because you've cut away all the stuff that nobody cares about. You've cut away all the stuff so they're paying a little bit of a price for over information. In other words, they're getting more than they'll need, but they're getting access. And it's kind of like people like to do these alpha programs because they feel like they're a little bit on the inside of a secret club or a secret group or a secret. It's like putting your full course into a 3-ring binder instead of a beautiful box of DVDs and a beautifully arranged everything, right? It just feels a little underground, and people feel like, and it's because it is. It's a hot mess. It means your handouts probably have typos in it, and it means, I'm speaking from my own experience, and it means that it's maybe even in the wrong order, and that your syllabus isn't completed yet, or that you're whatever, right? But they know that, and they're excited by that. They go, ooh, I can't wait to see what's going to happen, right? And then you get feedback and say, what was the most valuable to you? And I go, oh my gosh, almost always I'm surprised, but what I thought other people think is the most valuable, what I thought would have been the most valuable, and they don't match. They don't match at all. They're like way over, it's like trying to clap like this, And but ultimately, when you get through the alpha process, everybody is like this and interlocked. And now you've got the genesis of when you do the beta. Now you have to do is take away all the stuff they didn't like and that didn't work, amplify or add to the stuff, make a few refinements, improve it, and do a micro launch for a beta version of your program. We did this. We got these results. Here's some testimonials and case studies. Here's blah, 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 this, blah. I've got half a dozen people or a dozen people who are out there saying good things, inviting their friends to join us. But instead of $10,000, this version, you're not getting it for $997. You're getting it for $4,997. But it's going to be a $10,000 program. Now, again, whatever your numbers are, it doesn't matter. I'm just saying it's going to be more. And they're going to be happy because this army of happy, satisfied result getters are out there enrolling people into the program and process. Right? So there's no selling involved. That's why this process works so well. It's so easy. So, all right, let me give you a couple of additional event bonuses that if you're in the creative arts, let me see here, let me find that. I got to do this here. Any other questions, thoughts, ideas, epiphanies, inspirations?
I'm going to add one comment if I can, Dean.
Yeah.
When I did my first alpha group, I put the word out just to some close friends. I think it was 3 days. I talked to 12 people, like 4 each day for 3 days. I talked to 12 people, 10 joined it immediately. And I started that group a couple days later. And like it was bang, bang, bang. And the thing is that had I created the course first, I might have talked to those 12 guys and they said, we're not even slightly interested. Well, it's a good thing I didn't create that then. Well, there was interest, and that's why, but like Dean said, we got paid up front before we created anything. And their questions became the course. Because as we taught them, they ask questions, they ask questions, they ask questions. Awesome. And that become the course, right? So they're paying you to help you create it.
Exactly.
And there's interest because they've already bought in. It's already sold first.
That's right.
Super important.
Yep. It sounds easy enough, right? Intuitive enough, simple enough. So here's the other thing. I'm going to show you some different event models that has worked incredibly well. And you'll be familiar with the concept, but what's astounding is that it works online as well as offline. Now you can do events. You can just jump online and do your own webinar or half day, full day, or multi-day event all on your own. And there's some additional ways to do it. And you've heard of the idea of the lunch and learn, no doubt, some way, shape, form, or another. We have variations on that as well that we teach and do. And by the way, I never in a million years thought that this would work offline. I mean online, excuse me. Works perfectly offline. And it works even better online. And how do you do that when there's actual meals or food or drink or something like that involved? Well, obviously, there's all kinds of delivery options that exist, but there's also, hey, listen, our job, first and foremost, is to be a CEO, a Chief Experience Officer. So to create an experience, people don't care what we say, they don't care what we do, they care how we make them feel. So give them a feeling experience. So in this lunch and learn, there's actual food involved. You can get it delivered. You can say, hey, listen, we're going to do a dine in dollars. We're going to do a salad and success, a wine and wisdom, a dessert and dreams, a baking and butts, a pizza, pasta, potato and profits. Obviously, I'm into alliterations. But the point is, you can do these events. And what's interesting is, like our, for example, the Wine and Wisdom experience almost always has live entertainment of some kind, whether it's magic or comedy or mostly music in the jazz genre. We have live jazz musicians come on and they play and stuff like that. And we have a networking opportunity and they play some music and we engage them. And then we have a couple hot seater presenters, and then we actually offer some sort of value transfer, some wisdom transfer. So it becomes, now here what's interesting about that is that, let's say right now, for the sake of conversation, you can only muster up 15 minutes of content. No problem. All you have to do is facilitate or get somebody to help you facilitate. Say, hey, we're going to come together. We're going to network. We're going to give you 15 minutes and we're going to break you out into breakout sessions. And you guys are going to, go out and introduce yourself. And just because I want you to walk away with some new value partner alliances today. That's part of our experience here at Wine and Wisdom or whatever. And the thing is, you inevitably, incredibly sponsorable. You can get the local distributor to...
Did you say sponsorable?
Yeah, that's right. Exactly. Listen, if it's not nailed down, it's
sure.
That's right.
Sorry.
And or the local wine the wine shop or whatever, and they deliver they deliver, and again, it all happens through the mail, or they can go pick it up if they're in a local market or whatever. So you could do you welcome them, saying welcome and thanks to the Cork and Screw for their participation and blah blah blah. I don't know if that's the name of a place, but anyway, but to do that, and then everybody have your favorite drink, show that, and let's make a toast, and then you break out in little networking breakouts for a few minutes, and then you have some entertainment, come up for a little while, and then it's time to do the wisdom transfer, so that now you take your 15 minutes worth of killer content and you share it. Now they've had an entire experience that includes online and offline. They've got their favorite drink, whether they had it delivered or they just got it from their closet. Same thing with the lunch and learn, same with the dine in dollars, salad and success. And, we used to do these again offline, and we will do these offline again because they are some of our favorite events, and our people like them because they don't feel like it's another business training. It's an experience where they know they're coming to learn something, like in the salad and success or sexy salad. Everybody, we supply the lettuce and the utensils, the plates and stuff like that. Everybody else, as part of their tuition, they either bring $20 or $10 and a topping, a dish, whether it's a bottle of their favorite, a dressing or some seeds or nuts or some sliced veggies or some cheese that they could toss over, whatever. Whatever you bacon bits, I don't know, whatever. Whatever you put on salad or whatever you think you can put on salad, everybody brings and contributes. And now you've got this sort of buffet thing, so everybody feels like they contributed. And of course, you charge them for it. And again, whether it's $10 or $100, it doesn't matter. It's the point. And then they make their salad. You give them some networking. They make their salad together. They talk about it and blah, blah, blah. And then you get up on the front of the room and you provide your value structure, whatever it happens to be. And we've taught in all kinds of businesses and organizations to do this, whether from insurance to real estate to traditional lawyer's office to online, offline business leaders, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. Everybody get the idea here? And here's the other good news is that you can obviously have delivery. There's Uber Eats, there's DoorDash, there's all these other places that you include into the tuition and saying, hey, use this code and Uber Eats will deliver the dinner to you for our dinner and dollars, right? Or our what is dessert and dreams or bakes and bucks or whatever it is we're doing, right? So it makes it real easy, real fun. And again, you're creating an experience. And even if you don't do an official lunch and learn, even if you're just doing your half day, full day, or multi-day experience, try to include some of these experiential aspects of it. Make sure that you invite them to participate with their favorite drink or their favorite dessert or their favorite, or get that part delivered. Sometime I'll give you the magic of MVP. I'm not going to unpack that for you right now, but that's a killer solution that allows you to literally individualize gifts that are delivered. And then when you have snack time, their snack has their name on it in a full color printed label. They open it up and it's a blondie brownie, which is like delicious. I know, Terry, whenever you got to float, do what you do. So, let me see. Oh, I see there's some chats. Let me see where how come that wasn't showing up? I don't see it. Is there
and once you do a few of these too, and you're feel comfortable doing these, obviously we could tie this in with a local nonprofit group as well, where a percentage of that goes back to the nonprofits and these lunch and learns and things
right.
as well. But.
Got it. So sorry, Marnie, you're having trouble hearing at this point. We'll there will be a replay. Tech gods granting it. So you're on mute. So you have to unmute. So I don't know that I can undo your. Yeah, you're still muted.
It's just someone's mowing the lawn and whippersnipping. I can't hear with all that going on. That's all.
Okay. No problem. No problem. So, questions about that, the idea of creating a CEO event, a Chief Experience Officer style event. Really? Easy peasy, huh? So, cool. Now, let me spend, I'm not going to do a lot of training on this, but I am going to reveal it to you. And that is, I'm going to share with you the free to fee KISS letter. Boink. Oh, it's still. Let's see. Yep, there it is. Super simple. And this is just a Word document. I'm going to gift you this Word document. But you see, there's nothing more than one page, right? And it's just a super simple letterhead. You can use fancy pantsy letterhead if you want, but I don't encourage it. You don't have to add this formal part either if you don't want to. The point is, dear real name. That's the real person that you want to talk to. If you want to, others, OS2, what's in it? Others Oriented Success Solutions. So what's in it for them? What's the value statement? Then this may be, hey, if you want to know more about this and get this as a result, then this may be the most important note you will read today. Hi, my name is, I'm a professional expert in whatever solution you provide or title, who has created a new noteworthy speech, presentation, product, or solution, in this case, a speech, that serves to solve this pressing pain that they face. Real simple. I'd love absolutely the opportunity to share this program name with your group or organization by name, club by name. So the Kiwanis Southwest Sunrise Club, right? As opposed to the Sundown Club, as opposed to the Mid Central, whatever, right? So here's the deal. For a limited time, for whatever good reason, and there always has to be a because, a good reason, you know why, you can, short benefit, get this result, second short benefit, from the program speech. I'll explain how in a moment, but first, here's what your members and attendees and guests will learn from, and again, the name of your presentation. Bullet point, bullet benefit, bullet benefit, bullet fit, bullet benefit. This is all very, very formulaic, very systematic. This is not new to you by now. Make sense? So grab your totally free information kit that includes whatever it includes and whatever else it includes, and zero pressure information on how you can, again, result. Simply reply to this note or email, if it's a physical mail, whatever, and reach out with and then you give them the information, and I'll happily pop over your free killer information, rush right to you first thing. Call or reply now. And then you and your simulacrum, and simulacrum means nothing more than your fake signature. You never want to sign anything with your real signature whenever possible. So there's a ton of handwritten free scripty fonts. You can go to the font or Font Squirrel or any other font place on the internet. Get you a handwritten font. But this way people can't forge your name in any way, shape, or form. So then your name and your title or expert. P.S. Simplify the offer, which is you just restate the offer with a little bit of urgency. So reply as quickly as possible. Assure that your amazing killer presentation for your group and organization now. Easy peasy, fresh and breezy. And then, your name and info. This is super simple. It doesn't even have to be this complex. You can say, I'm thinking about. You can use that exact same formula if you want. Hey, I'm new to the speaking business, or I'm just now launching on a new subject matter, or I'm just now starting to reveal my RAD method or my news method or my reading method or my music method or my whatever it happens to be. And here's the thing. If you're talking with your fresh fruit on the ground relationships, you'll probably never have to even bust out this letter. You're just saying, hey, I'm looking to help a couple of nonprofit groups as you make your initial post. Or, nonprofit, a couple of social civic clubs, groups, or organizations with an exciting, engaging presentation on whatever it is, sexy name of your program, right? Super simple. It really is that simple. Any questions about this? Any questions about this? This is pretty straightforward. Again, and this is probably more than you'll ever need or ever use, but it gives you at least the formulary. Again, this was a response to, well, what do I send them? I said, just tell them what you want to do. So we created a letter for them. So it's like, well, I don't know what that is. Okay. We'll create a letter. Right? Right? Yes, Garrett.
So, do you recommend sending this digitally or hard copy? Both? If you do it digitally, just use it in email format, or are you creating this as a PDF and attaching it to an email? Does it matter?
Yeah, the first and best is always physically, because there's nothing happening in their physical mailbox anymore. Just nothing, And throw a pen in there, or throw a little toy soldier, or throw a staple a dollar bill to it, or whatever you gotta, whatever you want to do. A little toy plastic, go to the dollar store and get 6 magnifying glasses for $1. The little toy ones, a bright color, and saying, you're probably wondering why I've attached this magnifying glass, so you can take a closer look at your boring meetings. Here's what I'm doing. Ta-da! Probably wondering why I put this stupid little toy soldier into this envelope. Well, because your business meetings are boring and they require a battlefield of attention. I'm just pulling stuff out of my butt. So you do whatever you want. Here, hey, a tea bag. Sit back, relax, have a nice cup of tea while you're reading this short letter. Whatever. The only thing you need to do is refer to it someplace in your letter. You're probably wondering why I've whatever. Second to that, only second to that. Go ahead, Terry, you want to say something or okay, go ahead.
I heard Garrett giggle when you mentioned the dollar.
Yeah.
Garrett, the dollar kills. I made so much money mailing out dollars to people. It's crazy.
Yeah.
So we study a guy named Dan Kennedy. So look up Dan Kennedy and look at his marketing stuff. And there's a whole letter with a dollar bill you attach to it. And I'm telling you, it just people, you mail them $1 in the mail and they read even if I got more returns from the dollar mail probably than anything I've ever done. That's all I got to say. Bye.
Yeah. You're probably why I've attached this dollar here. What if there was more of this where that came from? What if? I was just looking to get your attention. It's nothing like money to capture your imagination for a few moments. Now that I've got your attention, read this letter. Whatever. I mean, however you refer to it, it's a great way to get attention. And dollar bill is, again, I prefer lumpy over flat, only because that mail will be open. Will 100% be open. We'll never make it to the B pile. We'll never make it to the garbage can, at least until they open it.
So, does that mean we can send a coin because we don't have dollar bills here?
Yeah.
A gold coin, that'd be cool. That'd be good.
You don't have you still have money, right? Flat money, paper money?
$5 notes.
Same thing. Yeah, same thing for sure. I actually have a product called $1 Million Bills that's created for that very purpose, which is. But imagine that dollar bill says "Thanks a million." It has your logo, your picture, and your company information on it instead of mine. Take a closer look, right? This could be. There's more of this where this. There's more where this came from, right? So on and so forth. So that said, attention getting, but make it a little bit lumpy if you can. Like even a tea bag will help. Even a penny glued or taped. A penny for your thoughts. Just stick it to the thing, and they'll feel it in the envelope. It's weird, but they just, you want to get that thing opened, because if they don't get it, if they don't open it, they don't look at it, they don't read it. It doesn't matter how cool or slick it is. So, anyway, so that's that. Now let me reveal to you. 5, yeah, okay. So. Let me go. Okay. Questions, thoughts, ideas, epiphanies on that one? Anything? Bueller? And we can do a whole thing on lumpy mail. Trust me. I've sent postcards that are lumpy mail. I take a postcard, a flat postcard, no envelope, and I staple a stack of 20s to it. And then what I do is I rip off everything but the extreme corner. It says, "I'm sending you this money in the mail, hoping that you take your spouse out to a delightful dinner. Enjoy an evening on me." Now, of course, the implied notion is that somebody along the way stole the money that was attached, stapled, and all they see is a bunch of corners of 20s or whatever, right? It's hysterical. It gets a great response. I take a bunch of animal balloons as a performer. Take a bunch of animal balloons and I scrunch them up and I staple them to a card saying, "I know it's your birthday, so I made you this balloon animal." Right? And again, it's lumpy, it's weird, it's strange. This is on a postcard. This is no envelope. So you don't know how many times people have called me who that mail was not intended for because they saw it. People at the post office have booked me for events over the years because they saw my weird mail. I would literally, not figuratively, literally ship a rock to people in no envelope. And I just write on my return address, their send to information with the words, "You rock." That's it. They knew it was from me to them with the words, "You rock." People are going to remember that. Will they ever throw that away? No. right? So do something. Listen, we're in the entertainment industry, whether we're performers or presenters, whether we're entertainers or educators, we're in the entertainment industry. Our marketing should be as equally as engaging and entertaining as we are, if we can, right? So these kinds of things help. So that said, let me share with you anybody want to see the $200,000 piece of paper? Anybody?
Sure.
Yeah, 1, 2. Okay, all right, I'll show it to you since you asked. Now, this is single-hand. This is, I told you that first that I'm thinking about process, probably the second most stolen thing amongst marketers today. This is probably the first most stolen thing. And this is what I call the satisfaction survey. And you know how we've all done evaluations when you've seen other speakers? Say, how was the speaker? On a scale of 1 to 10, did you like them? Did they suck? Were they rock star? How was it? Were they good, bad, indifferent? All of that stuff. And I've been using these, again, for almost my entire life, 35, 40 years. I've been 50 plus years on stage, entertaining, getting paid to educate and entertain. And now I'm just looking to change the size so it's a little easier to read. Oh, there it is down there. Boink, 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 boink. Okay. Here's an example. And it's called the Satisfaction Survey. And there's nothing more to it than this, but there's a lot of psychology at play here. I'm going to go over it very fast. I'm going to give it to you, and then I'm going to break it down in a series of trainings so that you understand. We'll break each one down. So, and all it is it either goes in an envelope or goes to them you can use this in Google Forms. You can use this as a fill-in-the-blank PDF. You can use this as send them a document when they send it back. And again, we'll unpack it. Let me just sort of unpack it for you here. The reason it's called the $200,000 piece of paper is because one member used it to generate in excess of $200,000. That's why it's called that. It's generated probably $40 million over the years for various and sundry members, not up to and including myself. And here's the first one. I'm very interested in getting your thoughts on my performance. And this could be third person, could be from the company or the seminar company or the organization. It can be third person. That's fine. I let them know that I do provide an evaluation, which they will get a full copy of to see exactly how things went. And this is part of your day. And this thing will produce results for you, and you'll see why here in just a second. Now, what's diabolical about this is I'm very interested in getting your thoughts on my performance or presentation, event you invited me to entertain or present at, and feedback, special things that I can do to change or improve my performance for you. Number 1, how would you rate this program? Notice I give them A, B, C, D, and this is a Word document, so I can change. Listen, if I have all the testimonials, if I have 1 million testimonials that say, excellent, love the entertainment, or love the program, or changed my life forever, or whatever it is, you can get whatever testimonial response you're looking for most. If everybody says, hey, Claude's a super nice guy, and I got a ton of sponsorships by learning his processes, but he needs to have some overcoming testimonials. People said, I thought it was a big sham until I learned it was more than everything he said it would be, right? Maybe he doesn't have enough of those. Well, that's what you put here. Thought it was a scam and it turned out to be a scam. Or I thought it was a scam. It was more than I could have ever imagined. It was a great deal. Or I was a little unsure, whatever. So, and then here's the thing. Whether they pick A, B, C, or D, you still have a testimonial. Now, obviously, this one here, you want real feedback. You do. The only way you're going to grow is if you get honest evaluation and feedback from people. See, if you never hear what their problems are, you never know what problems to solve. That's why this collaboration idea, when we talk about building your own programs, is so doggone important. Well, you're doing that the same here. But assuming they select ABC, now I can say, Mal Rosemond from eXp Realtors Australia says, excellent, love the entertainment. Or she says, great, enjoyed the entertainment. Or B or C, good, had a nice time. Either way, I now have put words in her mouth in a good way, right? Because she's selecting A, B, C, or D. Now, there's another reason for it, and that is that Mel is a very, very busy professional. She doesn't always have a bunch of time to fill out a long letter of testimonial for some guy or gal she's never met, right? But this makes it real easy. How long would it take you to select A, B, C, or D? I don't know, 8, 10 seconds maybe? You can do that a couple of times. Same thing. In your opinion, did the program make our event super successful, fun, and amazing? Do you think anybody would ever really say that? Who put that testimony on there? Let's see. Hello, McFly. I did, right? Helped make our event successful and fun, made our event headaches disappear. And then notice I don't give them sort of a negative option here. I simply say your own comments and I always give them all of the above, right? And then I leave a space for them to make a comment if they're feeling. Now I get a micro commitment here. And again, I'm not going to unpack every single psychological trigger here, but I'm getting a micro commitment, assuming they gave me an A, B, C, or D here. They're more likely to give me an A, B, C, or D here, plus maybe a word or two here, right? So I'm building on it. Now you could do one or more. You can add 2 or 3 of these kinds of questions before you ask for some handwritten or typewritten feedback, right? What did you like best about the program? Wow, what a great question. Instead of saying, what did you like about the program? Okay. Be honest. Don't worry about hurting my feelings. Tell me what specific things I could do or change to improve my performance for you. Most of the time, by the time they get to this question, they say nothing. It was stunning. Or I wish there was more time. Or I wish you could have had time to share more. Right? They do say those kinds of things. A lot. Even if they say it was a little slow at the beginning, wasn't sure what it was about, it was a little high level for me, or whatever. That's great. That's great feedback. You want to know that. Is that fair? Right? If you were talking with someone else who is planning your a spectacular event so you're telling them, if you were talking with somebody else who's actually planning an event, so it causes them to go into their head, think about who do they know that's planning an event. What would you tell them about me and my services? Include all the support services as well as entertainment, whatever, right? So, oh my gosh, it was the best. You must hire Dean for your next event. That's what I get almost all the time. Absolute must. It'd be a crime not to have a professional like you, whatever, blah, 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 right? May we quote you? Yes or no? You need to know that, right? Do you know anyone that might possibly, this is where you're asking for a referral or recommendation, the single strongest warm connection on the planet. I don't have to go cold calling anymore. Now, I'm also giving them an ethical bribe. I'm enticing them, incentivizing them to share. Do you know anybody might possibly need my services for an event, corporate function, corporate training, or private party? Please list their names and address and their phone number so we can send them a free gift with your compliments. And I send them a brownie, or I send them a coffee mug with their name on it, or I send them something cool from my stash of stuff, which I'll tell you about sometime soon. Right? Now, I would say 30% or more fill this out, but a full 30% don't. Almost everybody fills out this up to at least this point. They'll usually fill in this one. You're getting a little bit of resistance, which is why it's a little bit further down the page, right? Do you know anyone? And then, okay, right. So when you provide these names, I would like to know, because the people are your friends, I'm going to offer them a free gift book with our compliments. I promise no one will bother anyone. So you're just simply assuring them, then please turn to the next page, which is the back side of the page if it's in physical. And again, if you can send it physically, great. You send it with a self-addressed stamped envelope so you can get it back. The reason I have tens and tens and tens of thousands of testimonials when other people don't have any is because I sent this form out. Because people don't have time to write you a letter. They're not going to make you a video necessarily unless you're standing right there. And that's a whole nother conversation, which we will have. A few quick questions to help us better support their spectacular events. Did you desire to hire entertainment? Why did you hire? So it's great feedback. Garrett Hope from the Hope Foundation suggested that he wasn't thinking about entertainment, but he thought that magic would be more fun, or that this exciting, engaging keynote speaker would be more interesting, or whatever. So now I can use his feedback as a reason to let other people know who I know run a foundation or whatever, that this is what other foundations. Now I may mention him by name or I may not. The people we have surveyed said, or the feedback we've received, or one of our members talked about this, whatever. And here's where it gets good and chocolatey. Please list the 3 biggest concerns before you actually had us entertain. We'll have to fix that, but at your event. Please describe these concerns in detail. This is the before. This is the, we hired a clown. It was the most embarrassing thing we've ever had. We vowed we'd never have another magician or another speaker or another musician or another whatever, ever. Right? So this is the before. Because the people who are booking you, they have these real concerns and considerations. That, I don't think we should really have an entertaining speaker. We need a business speaker. We need to have a doctor, a lawyer, a candlestick maker. We need, instead of somebody who's a professional, engaging, entertaining speaker, we need a industry expert or professional, which, by the way, you should position yourself as anyway. But that said, that you are actually an interesting educational entertainer or speaker, it's important. So what are the concerns before and then the after? Please list the top 3 things you liked about what we did for your event. Yeah, I was worried that it would be an embarrassment to our company or organization. I was worried I'd get fired from doing, from hiring the wrong presenter, speaker, entertainer, educator, whatever. I'm so glad I made the right choice. Garrett was the bomb diggity, whatever, right? So you want this before. You want this before. You want the pain so that you can provide a real world answer to their solution. If you were to tell someone, and we're changing this languaging up since this, if you were telling your very best friend who's thinking about hiring us for an event, like the one you had, what would you say to him or her? This elicits a different response. Instead of, what would you tell someone? What would you tell your very best friend? By the way, these are script questions when you go to ask for testimonials in video as well. Right? So you want to say, if you were to tell someone who's thinking about hiring us for an event like the one you just had, what would you say to him or her? Right? May we use your comments so that it may help us help others to enjoy a spectacular event? Yes or no? And then I include this, and this one I actually lifted from somebody else with their permission. I always said, would you like to be on our list? I changed it to, please do not add me to your email list. So I'm just assuming they want us, that they want me to add them to their list. Now, by the way, on that list, I don't abuse them. I invite them to opt in for another list eventually, but I do occasionally send them something like less than once a month. Just saying, hey, thanks for hope you enjoyed it. I send them something of value. If you want to, and then that's where I usually get them to opt in for further connection on a regular basis, like an email list of some kind. So it's about a relationship build. Like we said before, you don't go before you say, hi, my name is Dean. You don't start by, hey, want to have sex? That's just not the first thing out of your mouth, typically, for most socially engendered people, right? It just doesn't, right? So you got to build on the relationship. So please do not add me to your email list, email tips and connections list. Any additional comments, questions, considerations that you'd like to add, and how'd you do that doesn't count. So, and then I ask for the signature. They almost always sign it. Now, here's the thing. Most of the time, I used to send copies of these forms to that target audience. Like when I did real estate, I had like 200 of these from real estate. I'd send them to a potential real estate booking, and they'd see all these forms, handwritten forms, copies of these handwritten forms, right? One of the smartest marketers I've ever met, his entire super slick marketing promotional kit was 200 letters stuffed into a shoebox, duct taped closed. That was it. Just copies of 200 letters of satisfaction from different people who had booked him and hired him. Now, you think anybody read all 200 of those letters? You can bet your bottom dollar they did not. But they knew that if we pulled out any letter at random, and this was proof, he didn't send anything about himself, didn't send a slick brochure, didn't send anything else. He sent a box of 200 letters in a shoebox, duct taped closed. That's it. First of all, it was interesting. Second of all, overwhelming social proof. He didn't have to do any selling. He was also getting $25,000 a presentation. Yeah, you can pick your jaws up now if you want. It's up to you. So, proof outperforms any other kinds of persuasion on the planet. Not because people, what we say doesn't really matter. And then, thank you for your help in the survey. Please return it and close, in this case, self-addressed stamped envelope or email, and I will mail you a special surprise gift once I receive it. So you're inviting them to do it, but you're also enticing them, giving them an ethical bribe or incentive to want to return it. And I got tons and tons. I have cases. I have like stacks of these things that I have copied. I pulled them from my pull quotes. I've used them all over my marketing because it's demonstrable proof. Now, I kept those things, so if anybody says, well, I know Garrett Hope, and I know he would have never said that. And I go, oh, wait a minute, hold on. 1973, here you go. Ta-da! Here's his signature, here's his thing, and here's whatever, right? So I keep them for that reason only. That's why I do screen captures of social media. When people say nice things, I don't just, instead of retyping it in a pull quote page, I put screen captures of posts of people, nice things people say. It just has more weight, right? So anyway, this thing alone will get people to call you, will get people to respond to you, get people to because there's, as you learned in the 6 laws of influence to influence and persuasion, the law of commitment to consistency, that people have, other than conscious, intersocial pressure to come in line with things they say or espouse to others. So if you write something down that says, I love the show, it was the best I ever saw, you have to come in line with that, so other than consciously, you know. And so if you get enough of these little micro commitments from people saying good things, then A, you have a tool that you can use, and B, they're more likely to promote. And then you can also add, if I promise not to abuse the privilege, can I have 1 or 2 people call you who are thinking about hiring me for their next function? Inevitably, the box says absolutely. And I have somebody, if I need to, can I talk to anybody who's hired you? Sure. Let me have a look. What industry? Oh, you're in real estate? Great. Call Mel, call Glenn Twiddle, call this person, call that person, and they will tell you just, and my instruction to people like Mel or Glenn or whoever is just tell them the honest truth. If you loved it, you loved it. If you didn't, you didn't. Now, I know from their little testimonial sheet, I said, this is what they said, but I would say call them up and get it straight from the horse's mouth. They will become a strong, incredible advocate because they've done this whole process of a series of micro commitments. they now come in line with, and usually if you've done a good job, that they're happy to share, right? So this is an incredibly powerful tool and weapon, and you're getting their information, their contact, all of that stuff, and their permission. And now when you send them stuff saying, hey, thank you so much, here's a beautiful chocolate chip cookie or a piece of cake, or I have a tendency to chocolate mint truffles, whatever. I send them food. Don't always. Sometimes I send them a Starbucks gift card or a Amazon gift card or whatever. But thank you so much. Here it is. Oh, and by the way, if you know anybody else and then you can ask again. And they will say, oh, yeah, I forgot. This person, whatever. So, and again, it's about relationships. So, questions, ideas, thoughts, epiphanies? Okay, cool.
Will we get the for the outline of the letter and things? Will that be in the members portal? Will it?
It will be in the member portal this week for sure. 100%.
Okay.
Millie Kajeli.
Thank you.
Yes, ma'am. It'll be in the free to fee 6-figure blueprint section.
Okay.
It'll be in that tab. It'll say 2 big red buttons at the bottom will say download and download. Questions? Anything else? And then there'll be more training on this, I think. Did anybody have any questions about that evaluation form? Do I need to do a lot more training on it? No. Okay, I'll probably just break this up into sections then.
Like if I'm using it, because I'm doing another speech this week.
Yes.
And I'll just reword it differently and try to hand it out to
absolutely.
them.
Customize
I might use it for the
Word doc.
Kiwanis as well. And
yeah. Customize it. Take all the entertainment in your program, or take that stuff out. So I have my own updated ones, but I haven't, as the document, I haven't changed it over to expressly speaking programs, because as an entertainer, I still engage people. So any other questions? Cool. So this Thursday, my expectation is that I'm going to post in the group. I will get you the letter. I'd love to see your version of the letters. I'd like to see your updated versions of the success satisfaction survey. And my expectation, I'd love for you to see that you put a post out there that says, hey family, I'm thinking about speaking for some local service clubs. Who do you know? Or where can I get started? Or does anybody know? Or I'm thinking about sharing my unique new rad method or whatever. I'd love to see a link to that post. It's a lot of work, but it's not. It's going to take you 5 minutes to create a post. It's probably 10 minutes to thoughtfully update the form, the satisfaction survey. It'll probably take you a total of 20 minutes to revamp the letter with your value proposition and your fill in the blank what you want to call it. And by the way, Thursday we'll talk about that. If you get stuck, say, what do I put there? What do I call it? How do I say this? How do I position it? We can workshop that. That's what Thursday is for, right?
okay.
So just get started on it. But the idea is we want to get people to raise their hand to start inviting you to come present, because here's what will happen. You'll set dates and there will be deadlines. Dun, dun, dun. There's a magic thing that happens when there is a deadline. Just happens. Right?
Shit gets done.
That's right. That's a technical term. So
Yeah, I've been given deadlines yesterday to do all this, about 35 hours of training for COVID, to give the COVID vaccinations.
yeah.
And that's why
No, I understand.
I'm trying to find time for this.
Right. And print out a copy, take notes, while you're sitting over a sandwich or something. And again, I don't want you to work yourself into the ground. That's not the point. But the thing is, we get to take unproductive time and turn it into productive time, because what do you want to do for the next 5, 10, 15, 20 years of your life? Do you want to, continue on the path that you're on, which is, by the way, I think incredibly noble, love what you're doing, and I know you have a passion for it. And I also know you want to replace some of that income, if not all of it, as a professional, highly paid speaker.
Yeah.
And then, hey, listen, if you donate to your time as a nurse to a clinic, that's on you. Because you don't have to worry about where the money is coming from. You don't have to worry about shifts. You don't have to get compliancy classes. You don't have to blah, blah, blah. If you don't want to, it's completely, so your life becomes your choice.
Yeah, that's great.
Mm-hmm. So, and this is a very simple process. Now we could go
Relief from
weeds
speaking.
on all of this, but that is not my expectation. I want to give you the bare bones minimum so that you can get results. And the only way you're going to know whether it's working or not is if you just get out there and do it. Because then what will happen is, I tried this and it didn't work. And great, tell me what you did. And we can answer specific questions based on our 55 years of experience in doing this. And my hallucination is there's nothing you can say that we haven't encountered already in one way, shape, form, or another. So...
We've seen it all.
Yeah, exactly. So, but the best teacher is action. Is just get out there and make a mess and clean it up. Just do it. And then you'll get up and you'll do it, and you'll do the next one. And that's why right now we're not asking for money, and we're not inviting a bunch of people. When I used to train performers who wanted to be stage presenters, illusionists and jugglers and hypnotists and stuff, I'd tell them, go find some mom and pop, out of the way, hidden theme park or golf fun family center activity that will allow you to do 3 to 10 shows a day at their venue. And whether they pay you or not, it doesn't matter. Now, there's a lot of money in those little places because nobody ever goes to them. No legitimate show producer wants to put together a show for some adventure park that has miniature golf and a bunch of arcade games. So if you went there and said, hey, listen, I'll do a 30-minute magic and illusion show or a full-blown family hypnosis show, or I'll do this, that, and the other thing, and they'll go like, okay, how much is that going to be? And you go, well, I'll do it for, $5,000 a week. And they'll go, oh my gosh, where do I sign? Where do I sign? Because nobody's ever coming to them. So I just say, go to a safe place. Go find a place to be bad, right? Because we all need it. No offense. I didn't walk out of the womb 6'2" professional presenter. It just didn't happen. And neither do you, right? We all had a place to be bad. I can tell you for a fact, this little fat kid who waddled on and off stage doing stupid magic tricks, and his only saving grace is it was a cute fat kid. That's it. I was awful. Wasn't the other saving grace is they weren't paying me, I was paying them. That makes all the difference. Hey, the kid wasn't terrible, and we made some money. Not bad, right? And then I got better, and a little better, and a little better. And by the way, as magicians go, I'm completely average as a magician. I'm good as a speaker, but I'm no Les Brown. I'm no Tony Robbins, but I've had more stage time than very few other than them. Over 30,000 live paid presentations. That accounts for something. I was really bad. Like throw up bad. like, and it got better just by proxy of doing it. So I'm not a guru. I'm a duru. Just by sheer volume of experience, I learned to be bad and got better and better and better and better until people began to say and agree with me that I had gotten better. Right? But because we're actually paying people to hire us instead of asking them to pay us, although that's certainly still an option, and that will happen. If you do 15 of these events over the next weeks and months that you will get people asking you, how much do you charge? You will get people, will you come speak to our group? You will. Now, whether they expect you to come speak for free or whether they expect to pay you something, or whether they go, oh my gosh, we probably can't afford, but I'm going to ask anyway. Usually if the first thing out of their mouth is how much do you charge, they're afraid that you're so damned expensive they can't afford it. Before we get there, let me ask you a couple of questions about your event and see if I'm even a right fit for you. I appreciate your interest. Tell me a little bit about what you're hoping to do, right? Then you say, well, we have 2 payment programs. One where you pay us and the other where we pay you. Which would you like to talk about first? And they go, and after they recover from fainting, you say, great, let's talk about your event. How can I help? And then you invite people to follow you at their event, because you're getting exposure to 10 to hundreds to thousands of people, and you're getting paid to market your service. Now, if they have money, take it. Take the money. But because your budget won't support this, and this, I'm going to invite people to extend their relationship with me. Or we're going to have some champions come on board and make this thing happen, regardless of your budget. Right? So, questions, thoughts, ideas, epiphanies? Otherwise, we're done for tonight. I realize I threw a ton at you. I encourage you, again, the rule is, Zig says, you don't take a shower once and expect to stay clean for the rest of your life. You must re-immerse yourself. So go over the video again. Download the things. Go over the 6 videos, which are very short. They're anywhere from 3 minutes to 11, just under 12 minutes. The longest one is 12 minutes. And I think that's the last one. It'll tell you exactly step by step, move by move, how to do this thing. It is very easy. So in about an hour and a half, you'll learn how to make 6 figures on a consistent basis, which will position you, by the way, to start getting hands raised for nonprofit groups and organizations and champion partners, and all of those people are right there in front of you, and you never have to pick up the phone and going, want to book me? You'll never ever have to do that, right? Because this is easy. You'll close through demonstration. People will see you. The ones that like you will come ask you for more, because you've invited them to do that, by the way. Okay. Anything else? It's Thursday. Terry had to go because he had an event. This is available in the measure. It will be tonight. So, cool.
I guess the only thing is that there's this incredible fear that about the value of what I have to offer and what I have to say.
Right?
So it's like, yeah, I know this is easy. You make it sound so great. It's like, but no one's going to want to listen to me.
That's a big deal. It's officially diagnosed as called imposter syndrome.
I know it very well. Yeah.
Here's the thing. You don't have the right to choose what other people see as valuable. And I'll tell you why I say that. I had to learn this the hard way. Forgive me for being so blunt. My bluntness is in full view. We were on tour with our Magic and Illusion show, and we were in Twin Falls, Idaho. Relatively mid-sized, small-sized market. We were on our way through, and we had a theater, a 1,200-seat theater, which was sold out. We showed up. We did our event. We were raising funds for, I think it was a burn unit on a hospital or something. I don't remember exactly what it was. But anyway, so I'm sitting there. We're doing our show. We're rehearsed. We're like a well-oiled firecracker machine doing our thing. Everything is going great. We aren't automatons. We're excited. We're loving what we do. Flash pots and smoke is going off. Lights are on cue. Everybody's hitting their mark. Jokes are right on. Well written, crafted. People are being sliced. Ferraris vanishing midair. Everything is on target. We're just nailing it. And I promise you, not an exaggeration. You could literally, not figuratively, you could literally count the claps in the theater. Like, 1,200 seat theater, you could count the claps. Garrett, I know you're feeling me right now, right? You could count the claps. And I'm going like, what's wrong, man? I mean, we are just nailing it. We're hitting our mark. It was like a fish farm, right? It was like an oil painting. It was bad. It was just. So we're backstage, curtain is closed, we took our bows, and we're getting ready to pack up, and the producer comes screaming backstage, like at warp speed with his hair fire, running right towards me, and I go, I don't know what happened. He goes, I don't know either. I've never seen them go so crazy in all my life. Can you stay for another 2 days? That happened twice to me in my career.
Seriously.
No joke.
Were you like in Minnesota or something with these like very staid Scandinavian people who don't know how to clap?
It was, again, Twin Falls, Idaho. It was whatever community theater building that was. It was an old theater. I was probably 30, 50 years old or something. It was a nice place, but it wasn't the best place we'd ever worked. It wasn't a Fox theater for sure. But it was just, at that moment in time, I decided I have no right to tell the audience how they're to enjoy my presentation or if they're to want to. My job is to just deliver my value and let the chips fall where they may. Now, as a performer, sometimes they land a little better than others. And sometimes, listen, even as a gospel preacher, I get up and I go, oh my gosh, that was awful. Nobody got it. And I have people write letters and call the church and say, my gosh, my life has been changed and blah, 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 blah. And I'm going like, wait a minute, were you in the same building? Mm-hmm. I have no right. It's not my place to decide for them what value they get out of my presentation. Now, you have to intend value. You have to deliver real value. You can't just fake it till you make it. You have to show up and do your job. And it's okay to be honest, First couple of times I did this for Rotary when I was younger in the preteens and tween age, I said, this is the first time I'm doing this for your group or a group like this. And what happens is they go, and they come alongside of you on stage, emotionally. They step up for you and they go, as long as you don't break down in the middle of the stage, and even if you do, they'll probably give you some grace if you tell them up front, first time I'm trying this. I'm just doing this. I want to show you a couple of simple tricks. I'm a little fat abused kid. People beat me up at school, and this is a place where I feel safe. Can I show you a trick or two? So there's value in brutal honesty and telling people the truth where you are. I mean, don't embellish and don't, go in there. It's, you visit it, but don't stay. If you're in a highly emotional state, it's okay to be emotional. It's okay to tell the truth. So, but again, ultimately, at some point you just have to, it's like I said, if you have the cure for cancer, and for somebody, you have the cure for cancer in their life, emotionally, spiritually, relationally, intellectually, financially, you have the cure for cancer. The thing you say, that only you say and the way you say it, will cure them. Your inspiration, your education, your wisdom transfer, whatever it is. Some people say, I've heard that a million times, but it never made sense until just now. Right? That kind of thing. So you have a responsibility to get, for lack of better, just get over yourself. Because it's not about you. It's about the value you get to bring for others. Go ahead, Claude.
I was about 19 years old, 20 years old, just starting my career. My mother was working at a nursing home in Niagara Falls, and she volunteered me to bring my Grand Scale Illusion show to this retirement home. So I said I need a room about 20 by 20, and she said, yeah, no problem, we have that for you. So we go perform, and when we get there, we realize that the 20 by 20 was for all our tractor trailer for props and the audience, which kind of, so we end up just going in and doing a couple tricks. There's probably 25 residents watching. That's it. Like, this is like a $5,000 magic show we're doing for 20 people, and I'm like, oh my god, I can't believe my mother asked me to donate this. So here we are donating this. And when I was done, this lady come up. She felt she walked into me like a bit awkward, but she finally walked to me. She gives me a hug and she says thank you. And she goes and sits down, and all the other people there was all like excited on what's going on. And this lady that come to thank me had not said a word in the last 5 years. This is the first time this woman spoke in 5 years. And I was blown away that something during my show made her snap out of whatever. My God, can you imagine? I didn't want to do this event. I wasn't going to go there. I had no idea that a miracle would happen right in front of my eyes. So you never know who you're going to touch and when you're going to, you know. So I never forgot that. So.
Yep. And you have to have a place to be bad. Somebody's got to see it. Somebody's got to see it. And then you're going to videotape it, because if you breathe, you record it. And you're going to look at it and saying, that was not as bad as I thought it was. That was actually worse than I thought it would be. That was good. I'll use that again. That thing, we're cutting that out. You know, but the only way to know is just to get up and do it in front of people, online or offline. That's why this First Fast Next event is so important to you. Just invite some friends. You get to choose. Invite some people that know you on social media. Invite a couple of friends. Invite us. Let's just do something. Now, you've got more skill already, Garrett. You've already done a summit. I know what you're capable of. It's rock solid information. I don't know if that's your dream information, but start somewhere. If you have to just use that same content because you know it, start there if that's it. Whatever. Start with something that you know. Listen, I didn't start by teaching performers how to monetize their event business. I showed them my first coaching. I didn't know it was coaching. I just told people what I was doing, other performers, is I just said, I went and talked to these people. I showed them this. I did that. I offered to do that. That was it. That was called coaching back in the 60s. You know, I didn't get paid for it. I was just helping my friends. Right? And by the way, most of the people I was telling how to do it were much better performers and presenters than I was by a long shot. Like people that I'd looked up to and went, wow. You know, like the famous local magician, Hank Valchek. Right? You don't know him. You never will. But us magicians all looked up to him because he had the best lines. He was the most handsome. He had the, tricks down. He's like all blew us young magicians away. And yet he couldn't make a living at it. I didn't know that. I assumed that because he was that good, that he just made a living at it. Until he came to me and said, I need to make some money at this or my wife's going to divorce me. I mean, not literally, but figuratively. I said, what? Wait, like tugged on his skin. That's not a mask. No, that's really Hank. Right? I said, easy. Here, come with me. I'm going to go to a school. I'm going to show you how I do it. I've got a meeting today. Why don't you just go with me? And he did. He goes, oh my gosh, this is easy. You mean I just give away money? Yeah. And that's all you're doing. And your money just happens to be information right now. And then you invite people to go on a journey with you next, whatever that happens to be, whether it's for more free information or whether it's a webinar or a training series or a RAD method or a news method or a music method or whatever it happens to be next. Ridiculous to reading Rockstar, So whatever it happens to be. Does it make sense? Yeah. But ultimately, give yourself a deadline. Go invite some people to invite you to come speak to them. You'll have a deadline. Ha ha! It's amazing what you'll get done when you know you have to. So put yourself under a little pressure. It's okay. Nobody dies. Nobody gets pregnant. Okay?
Okay, I've got a deadline. I'm going to start Toastmasters on the 25th of this month.
Good.
So, yeah,
Cool.
that'll be
So
the
then,
first.
so then just put a super simple, whether you use the big idea, big impact worksheet or whatever, just put a super simple outline of the less than 3 things you're going to share, or whatever or if they give you a formula, if you're going to use the Toastmaster, toast form or whatever it is. By the way, Toastmaster is a great place to get some practice. I'm not against Toastmasters at all. It doesn't prepare you for a professional speaking career, but it's a great place to get practice.
Yeah, I'm part
As
of
I promise you, I've never had a Toastmaster lesson. I've spoken for lots of Toastmasters, but I would fail miserably at a Toastmasters because I use uhs and ums and I things out of context, and I make words up. Like I'll say, brutalities or whatever my word, whatever. Wrong answer. Sorry, that's not in the dictionary. You can't use that one. You know what? Tell that to the person who just gave me a $37,000 check. Come speak to them for 90 minutes, where none of you ever had a gig, right? And again, forgive me for being egomaniacal there for a second, but so yeah, go get what you can get. Practice. That's why you guys can. That's why your accountability groups. You can speak for each other, with each other. And by the way, you can record that. And if you get something useful out, use it for content. Right? So if you're willing to share a super simple outline, or so we can help you, and just say, go get them.
Well, I've got to change the name because Life Cycle Compass was taken, and I don't know, I'm steering. So yeah. So I think I'll go to news, but if I had trouble trademarking Life Cycle Compass, there's probably no way I'll get news. Like I want life purpose news. I bet that's taken.
Well, what about Life Cycle News?
That's all right. It's it's because someone already had life.
Here's a website. Y'all write this one down. leandomainsearch.com. Lean, like lean meat. LEAN, like lean into it. leandomainsearch.com. And that'll help you find a .com based on your keywords. So if you put life cycle or life cycle compass into there, it'll say my life cycle compass or our life cycle or life cycle compass VIP.
The domain name was okay. It was more trademarking in Australia, but don't worry, I've got
whatever term or phrase you want to use. New.com or news, just put new in there and it'll say new VIP or mynews.com or whatever, and it'll give you the available .coms of all of those things. And plus, it's a great brainstorming engine. Even if you never buy a domain, and I wouldn't buy it there necessarily, but even if you never buy it, it's a great place to get ideas for names. Put in I put in magic, the word magic, and I get all kinds of iterations around it, and it comes up with things I would have never thought of, and it's all .com. And if I like one or a variation of it, so.
Yeah. All right. Thanks.
Yeah, it's a great tool, and I think you'll find it of use. So good. Woohoo! Questions, thoughts, ideas, epiphanies, thank you so much. All right, gang, have an awesome, amazing, and blessed week. We'll see you Thursday. Remember to I'll post the replay. Again, my expectation is 24 hours, but I usually get it done that night, so you can always check within a couple hours. It has to render. I have to download it. I have to upload it. It's got to render on YouTube, and then I can put it over the link. So it takes at least a couple hours for that part to happen. But, so for you Australian people, just check in before you go to bed. It'll probably be there. And for us U.S. folks, you can check anyway. It'll probably be there, but we'll see. I get it as soon as I can.
Thank you.
All right, gang, have a blessed day.
Good night.
I'm not telling you what to do, just a suggestion. Yeah, do what you want. You grown-ass people, figure it out.